Two. Greetings everyone. I hope you're well and having a great day. I'm Donovan. Welcome to Burnout and Brake Stuff. This week's Chrysler Product Variety Show, we're going to be looking for a new owner caretaker for our 1957 Dodge Power Wagon. This video will go investigate our project for sale. We'll inspect the body, then the interior, engine compartment, and under chassis drivetrain, then take it for a short drive. Once we're done with all that fun stuff, we'll return to the shop and cover some of the boring things, such as the scads of paperwork that I have for the vehicle dating back to October of 1990. All right, let's go out and have some fun and check out our Power Wagon. Let's take a walk around our 57 Dodge Power Wagon. We'll take a look at the outside, the body, and then we'll move to the interior, and then we'll drive it up onto the concrete work surface and take a look at the engine, transmission transfer case, front and rear axles. So let's first take a walk around here. Notice our front end styling, the hooded headlights, and most of our trim parts are on the front. It's missing the V that would have designated the 315 cubic inch V8 option, and it's missing what I call a mustache bar. I like the look of the truck better without that mustache bar, if you will, but that's just subjective. I really enjoy the very large flared opening. Those are 32 inch tall tires, so there's plenty of room for more meat in the wheelhouse. There's our cowl vent for air into the cab. Notice our Power Wagon and the 200 emblems are complete. This is believe a hood ornament from a 1952 Dodge Coronet. It's the only car I've ever seen that ornament on, and I use it to open the hood because the hood is extremely heavy, and I use it as a push. But the hood itself closes amazingly well. I guess it due to its alignment and how heavy. So let's take a walk around to the driver's door. The outside of the door is in pretty good shape. We have some bubbling rust coming through here and some here as well. Our fender has a couple of holes where I believe a mud flap was placed at one point in time. You can see our bed structure here. Looks like several holes, some from the factory, some aftermarket. We have some paint chipping loose and some rust coming under. Looks like we've had some repair work done here as well. Some cratering, if you will. There's some rust coming through there and here. One nice thing about these particular beds, if you will, is Marquet has a pretty full lineup of replacement parts. These here need to be resized. I chose ones that are a little bit too small, so it's a little bit difficult getting them loose. Requires a special flip it up procedure here. See if I can get this one loose. Drop our end gate down. We can see we have, not the greatest of shape on our tailgate here. Marquet does offer full bed wood replacements and the metal dividers there. Who says that a 1957 vehicle can't be eco-friendly? We have sprouts showing up on our front of our bed there. The wood's pretty solid. Has still some of the shellac, I guess, or whatever the coating was on there, and the previous owner kept a piece of board on top of that to help reduce the wear and tear on it. Move around to our passenger side fender. We can see some work that's come loose. There's more bubbling and some rust there. So that's in pretty good shape overall. Our cab itself has some work done on it in the past. It looks like a little bit of a rust hole coming through there. I believe it was originally white by this and with a red interior. So kind of a nifty color combination. We have some sand scratching and like from, looks like some repair work, some bubbling here. And along the bottoms, we have holes welded up there. This fender here looks like it's had a little smoothing work done to it that's popped loose. Some rust showing up there. This fender here has had some work on it, as portion of the fender has had work on it as well. It's got some rust coming through there. But overall, the difficult to find parts are with the truck. Like I say, the mustache bar and the V, I don't know how hard that is to find, but I like it the way it is. Like I said though, I realize that's subjective. Let's go ahead and climb up into the interior and look at the Spartan interior. We can see here as well on our door we have rust through. It does have a spare driver's side door that goes with it, but we're not all rusted out in here. Looks like those are screw-on replacements though. Had no idea until just now. This isn't all rotted out. Our battery tray cover or battery box cover is here. You can see there's copious Swiss cheesing of our floor, and the same here under our fuel tank. Did I mention that we have a rusty cab floor? So that will need to be repaired. But what's really nice is our trim parts are here. Earlier videos I didn't have them in there. I was able to locate all the parts for that. This is a mechanical gauge. I believe all of these work. So, but they're not hooked up right now. We're using a mechanical aftermarket oil pressure and water temperature gauge here. I purchased the vehicle in April of 2011. My DMV paperwork shows the title transfer at 69,169 miles. So didn't put very many miles on it before I took it off the road. Had a single wood visor there, obviously not stock. Our cab roof is showing signs of wear, obviously, for its age. But I really like the styling of the way the dash forms around into the door. That's pretty nifty. Let's go ahead and give it a start up and drive it up onto the concrete work surface so we can take a look at the rest of the truck. Let's see if it'll start first thing this morning. Oh yeah, look at that. And no, I didn't warm it up. There's a temperature gauge as cold as can be. We have 50 pounds of oil pressure creeping up there. Let it sit here for a moment and warm up a second before we head forward. Windshield's cleaner than it was the last time. You can see out of it. There's our, okay. It's very tractor-like. This is a 1957 truck. It drives, it rides very much like a tractor, like an old dump truck, as some people might say. Here we are. Oh, that power steering is so nice from what it was. Oh my goodness, that's great. Let's get her here. I think we can work with that. So let's
First gear. Yeah, let's let her sit here for a second. Get our emergency brake on. So let's get under the hood and under the drivetrain and see what we get. Give it a good once over so everyone gets a good eyeball of what's going on. I used switches out of a 1972 B series van for all the updates here. They fit the decor to me, and I had them, so I used them. And I have a replacement steering column out of the 72 van as well, so we can modernize turn signals up onto the steering column with canceling, as opposed to just a mechanical switch clamped to the column. So yeah, let's go ahead and shut it down and take a look around under the hood and under the chassis. So nice. With our hood open, access to the engine compartment, we see we have a Poly 318. It was rebuilt in October of 1997. It currently has 10,538 miles in the 26 years since its rebuild. At the same time, this radiator was recored and a replacement clutch installed. So that's pretty good. 10,538 miles in 26 years. I recently flushed the cooling system, installed some new valve cover gaskets. We have our replacement Layers 997 steering sector, as you've seen from the videos if you watch those. So that's basically what's going on under the hood here. New heater hoses in there, has a Toyota mini alternator on it. Trying to think if there's anything else that comes to mind. That pretty much covers that. As far as the wiring under the hood is concerned, relays are for horn, high beam, and low beam. I didn't want to run the all the current for the headlights through the light switch like Chrysler seemed to like to do for some reason. So anyway, the headlights work, both high and low beam. The horn works, and the front park lights work. It needs to have the wiring completed to the back of the vehicle for the tail lights, so the turn signals and flashers will work. But overall, it's fairly clean under the hood. It still uses points, and it starts right up. I did a compression check on it. All cylinders are 140 pounds even, all the way across the board. So that's all good news there. Holds 50 pounds of oil pressure. That's good news. I installed new exhaust manifold gaskets and ARP stainless steel bolts. I believe I put new donuts in the exhaust head pipes. So all of that's detailed in the service records for the truck. So let's go ahead and close our hood down and get the truck up on stands so we can get underneath of it and check out the chassis and drivetrain. All right, what a great looking truck. Oh, and as far as the tires are concerned, this truck has been kept inside for 12.5 years under covered storage or in a building. So the tires haven't been exposed to sun, and so they're not dry rotted, weather checked and the like. They still go down the road fine. I mean, while I've kept it, for the most part, it's always been up on jack stands, so it hasn't been sitting on the tires. So yeah, 12.5 years. I've put a Grand total of 155 miles on it. I took it off the road due to the steering issues. And now that I have that fixed, it's time to find a new caretaker. But like I said, let's get it up on stands and get underneath it and inspect the underside. With our chassis inspection, we'll start on the frame here with our serial number 829-01092, making it number 92 of the 427 trucks equipped with a V8 and a half-ton option. It's had the axles upgraded to 3/4 ton, so it's not a rebodied truck. We'll swing around here. We can see our Dana 44 front. It's a 409 open differential. I've serviced the fluid in it, as you can see with the gray RTV. There's our 318 spin-on oil filter, and I put drain cocks on the block of vehicles so I can service the cooling system and flush all of that out through them. Looks like we have a rear main seal leak in our 318, or a pan gasket, rear gasket, but more times than not when it's doing that I find it to be the rear main seal. Looks like our transfer case or transmission, I believe that's a new process, model 420. Looks like it could use some sealant there and possibly elsewhere. I do remember having to put a speedy sleeve, and all that would be documented in the service records. A speedy sleeve on, right there it is, here at the transfer case. The U-joints have been replaced as well. I believe the prior owner did that. It's all in the service records. It will need a replacement master cylinder. It appears to have a leak up here at the piston seal, but it does still work. There's our battery tray, our wiring to the rear of the vehicle. I believe the transfer case is referred to as a model 91000 in the service manual. There's our dual exhaust system with H-pipe and glass pack mufflers. That's from what I can tell, those extra ribs on the Dana 60 came out in 78 or 79. I have a 77 Power Wagon that doesn't have those ribs on it. The 79 does. Here's our bed floor. See up in there. Underside of the wood still looks pretty decent. Leaf springs have been replaced both front and rear by the prior owner. Same thing for the shocks, both front and rear. Once again, in the service records for the truck. This is definitely a Dana 60 with 410 sure grip. Looks like that plug has a slow leak on it there. I did service it with, you can see the gray RTV, once again covered in the service records, along with the brakes had been replaced, both front and rear. So here's our wiring going out to our tail lights, LED tail lights that we'll need to finish up. Well, the next owner will, if that's what they choose to do. License plate light, like. So that's pretty much the truck in a nutshell, if you will. So yeah, excellent stuff. I think that did a pretty good job of covering the basics. I'll put the rest in the description below the video. like I say, there's plenty of service record information that goes all the way back to the mid-90s. I believe 96 is where it starts. Probably when Tom purchased the truck. So let's get it off the stands and get it back under covered storage. Let's take it for a drive and see what happens. Foot-pound, or 50 foot-pounds, that's funny stuff. 50 pounds of oil pressure. Neighborhood, see how the neighbors are doing. I've not had this truck on the road in 12 and a half years, all because of steering, bad wiring, and a bad fuel tank. I believe that 45 miles an hour is probably the fastest that anybody would ever want to take this thing, be my guess. I mean, it says 110 right here. Yeah, the only way this thing's going to do 110 miles an hour is if it's dropped out of an aircraft at 30,000 feet. So I guess that's one way of crushing it, right? And give it the whistling diesel. The Hilux test. Which is tougher, a Toyota Hilux or a 57 Dodge Power Wagon? There's an episode for you. All right, we're starting to get a little temperature in the engine. Steering is very smooth, easy going, which is nice. It's not a nightmare any longer. It'd be fun if some fellow YouTuber bought this and continued on with it. It'd be great to see somebody come and get it and do a will it drive, will it run and drive however far. You want to travel 45 miles an hour and show up and swap out the master cylinder, finish up the wiring for the tail lights, and put a fuel system in the truck bed. Be easy enough to drive a slow trip back home. Hello. Most people have never seen one of these trucks. They make a good shop truck or business card for a shop, a local area. Just use it for in and around town trips type of a thing. But yes, very much like a tractor. Come on, there's fourth gear. Those synchros sound like they're worn out. I guess it's a good reason to have the second transmission, because it does come with a second transmission. That's not good. There we go. Here's the brakes. Okay. Let's make us a left-hand turn here and go back home. luck a little bit. Stop through Freebird and go through the shopping center. We'll take it back home. All right. The old hand signals, since the electric turn signals don't work. Body and paint. Shopping center. 64 degrees. Okay. Smells like they got some barbecue or something going on over here. Nick? Let's head on back home. The old double clutch-a-rooski. There we go. Double clutch, third. There's 25 miles an hour. Double clutch, neutral, fourth, 30. We're just cruising. 35. All right, let's get her slowed down and back home. Yeah, that brake pedal squeaks against the floor. All right. Well, that was fun. Nice. Back home safe. Got my second gear. Go ahead and put her back under the house. Some off-road action here. Yeehaw. There we go. Well, that was fun. Thanks for riding along. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did. So put her back into under the house here. Don't put your fingers between the seat and the cab. They'll get pinched and that hurts. Okay. Everything's a double clutch with it. Welcome to the 50s, right? Go. Home again, home again. Good for now. Yeah, looking good. Put it right there. There we go. All right, happy as a clam. That looks like 25, 26, somewhere in there for oil pressure. 180 degrees for temperature. All right. Nice.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, walk around, test drive, that type of thing. I said we'd come back and do some of the boring stuff. We'll look at the paperwork briefly, and everything else I'll put in the description below, as far as how long the truck's been owned by two different people, you know, that type of thing, over the last 33 years, and it's only been driven 18,127 miles in the last 32 of those 33 years, that type of thing. Tom, the previous owner, kept pretty good maintenance record here, and I put paperwork transcribed some of his paperwork into this book with all the receipts for the maintenance and repair work that was done. So there's a long record of that in here. Original advertisements from 1957, color charts from 1957 for the Power Wagons, the available colors, that type of stuff. We have 1957 Dodge Power Wagon on your service manual on CD, and some of the things that aren't covered in 57 that were on the truck, they didn't put them in the service manual for some reason. Had to get the 58, 59 CD. So all the service manuals on CD are there. The original K-Series 1957 parts book. Make it a little bit simpler to find some of the parts through eBay or whatever, searching on the internet, if one is so inclined to do a restoration type of thing for it. And piles of paperwork from different things about 57 Power Wagons, advertisements for this particular truck when it was for sale eons ago, and many other 57 Power Wagons along the way looking for parts, that type of thing. So that's all included here in the information. All of those things will go with the truck. So greatly appreciate you stopping by and checking out what's going on here at Burnout and Brake Stuff. And hopefully we can find a new caretaker, and hopefully they'll want to continue on with the restoration with it, because I feel as though it's in pretty good shape. All the bare bones are there for a decent resto, and hopefully we can get it to an excellent new caretaker. So like I said, thanks for stopping by and checking things out. I appreciate the likes, the shares, the subscribing. Like I said, objective comments are great. And what's most important out of any of this is that everyone has a great day. That's what's most important. Thanks for stopping by.